this morning to review them, the journalist and broadcaster Vidisha, and business advisor and author Alison Stewart. Alan, good morning to you both. Thanks a lot for getting up so early to be with us. Oh, Vidisha, let's kick it off with Chris Pincher, shall we? Let's bring up the front of The Guardian. What questions are there for Mr. Johnson?
There are many, many questions for Mr. Johnson. Boris Johnson himself. Chris Pincher is actually a long-time close ally of his, a senior Tory party member, very high up in the chief whip's office, and therefore he himself is an authority figure. He himself is the kind of person that if you were a young staffer who'd been perpetrated against, you would go to him. And so herein lies the controversy. Boris Johnson took 24 hours to say that he was suspending Chris Pincher, but as various newspapers have gone into it, they found out that numerous allegations have been made against Pincher for years, including a set of allegations in 2017, which he was cleared of. And so questions are arising as to how much Boris Johnson really knew, and why is it that Johnson would de-escalate all of these allegations and saying there was something like a little bit of drunken acting out and so on and so forth. There are lots of leaks from close within the Tory party now saying that Pincher presided over a culture of getting away with bad behaviour, of bullying, of all kinds of perpetration, and this is what we don't expect from any kind of political party in the 21st century, but he is now under investigation, and he has indeed fired.
Isn't the argument we're innocent until proven guilty, and also, yes, it took 24 hours, but due process had to happen?
Both of those things are true, and in actual fact, I do think that 24 hours, given Johnson's usual timeline, is indeed quite fast. It's one day of receiving the news, and clearly there's a lot that we don't see because we don't work with any of those people. So I have to say, I think 24 hours is reasonably nippy given Johnson time.
Okay, Alison, what do you think? 24 hours? Was it too long?
Well, I'm not really a political pundit or an expert. I can certainly talk to you all about business.
Okay, let's talk about airfares then. Enough about Chris Pincher. We've been talking about him for a long time. Let's look at the front of the FT. I mean, this is, I don't know if you guys have tried to book flights recently, but they are so expensive.
They are, and I'm sorry to say, it's a sign of the times, isn't it?
What is it? Is it just? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm jumping in.
You do have the perfect storm of inflationary pressure, jet fuel prices going up, a shortage also of pilots and cabin crew. Across the board, and it isn't just EasyJet that's affected. All low-cost carriers, Ryanair, EasyJet, Wizz Air, Vueling, I mean, all of them are having big challenges. But what's quite interesting about this article is that airfares today on these carriers are actually lower now than they were 10 years ago. So I think, we have shorter memories, but when we're in this economic climate, we do want to get away affordably. And I think these airlines are going to have a lot of brand reputational damage if they don't handle these cancellations with customers quickly. So back to your 24 hours point, 24 hours certainly matters in this circumstance.
Yeah, let's bring up the FT, the front of the FT again, because basically it's Ryanair's head, Michael O'Leary, saying that it's not only this summer we're going to have rising fares, right? He's saying it's going to carry on for years. I mean, how many people are going to be able to afford to travel?
Well, this is the problem, because increasingly airfares are going up, not just in the UK, but in the United States, other parts of Europe, and many other parts of the world. So in a lot of ways, people have a lot less money to spend on holidays. So with rising airfares, the question then becomes, well, where are we going to go? And perhaps this is a boon for the UK hospitality industry as people increasingly vacation here in the UK and stay home.
The grateful staycation, the wonderful staycation, even though there's no one to do the work here either. So, on that cheery note, let's have a look at the Telegraph. Vidisha, what are they saying? Oh, about COVID. Great
everything that Alison just said, the desire to get away from the pandemic, and yet you can't. And not only that, but you can't even enjoy UK hospitality because COVID infections are up 32% in all regions, all countries, all ages in the UK. Fueled by the BA4 and 5 variants. No, those are not grounded British Airways flights. They are indeed COVID variant. I've got to say, none of this is really new, because if you ask around how many of our peers and colleagues, people that you know of, are off sick, we're no longer saying the C word, so we just say so-and-so is unwell. So there's a kind of policy of denialism and silence from the government, and yet I think we all really know what's happening. The goodish news is there might be a booster jab rollout. I don't know if it's jab 4, 5 or 6. It's been so long I can't remember, but that's from the 1st of September, subject to approval and subject to various conditions. So over a certain age limit, or if you're a frontline worker or you work in a care home or some other high contact with vulnerable people situation. I think the takeaway is none of this is going to go away, and exactly as Alison said, there are knock-on effects of everything, and it's compounded by various political activities out in the world and also by the war, which shows us really how we are all connected to each other socially and economically, health-wise, and in our happiness, because we're trying to build a life here as human beings on the planet. Very difficult with all this stuff going on.
Yeah, at the moment it really is, isn't it? Alison, I see you nodding. What do you think about this? Do you think we're going to go back to the stage where there were so many people off work that just, everything that we're seeing now is going to be compounded?
I think so, and I think Badisha's point about the interconnectedness of all of us is absolutely right. COVID doesn't happen in isolation. And the implications for employers and companies who have staff who not only are suffering from COVID in the short term, but there's long COVID. So many people will have lasting effects from this illness, perhaps for the rest of their lives. We just don't know. So it's a major economic hit, COVID, combined with, as Badisha said, all the other things going on, the war in Ukraine, inflationary pressure, rising airfares.
Alison, listen, I'll stop you. That list can go on, but I'll just stop you because I've had enough. I do want to bring up a happy thing, though. A lot of gigs taking place this summer, which is awesome. I went to see Alanis Morissette. She was phenomenal. The front of the Times, the gorgeous Adele.
Yes, this is a happy story.
And very
so,
briefly,
funnily enough,
though,
I'm going to see her this afternoon in Hyde Park. I'm very, very excited. And, Adele has an amazing ability to connect with people. She's very empathetic. She's very honest and open about her own life challenges, whether mental health or weight or lots of other things. So I think she's highly relatable.
Okay.
And she is there for
I've got to say
someone
thanks.
here
We'll see you
today.
next hour. I'm so jealous you're going to see Adele. We'll be back in a moment. See you just now.
The plan is to take the political temperature midweek, so we'll be discussing the biggest stories of the week so far, talking about what's still to come, having a look at Prime Minister's questions, of course, and getting reaction from politicians, plus our very own viewers, and we'll have analysis from my Sky News colleagues.
The Tape with Sophie Rich on Sky News.